This is Colette Coakley. I'm the Vice President of Human Resources for Maryland Public Television and the founder of the Women's Leadership Forum. And we're here once again with an awesome podcast. I want to tell you just a little bit about the forum. The forum is a group for women to gather and network and to advance our possibilities. We advance our possibilities through our voices, our resources, and connections. And we welcome all women, all women. It's not just a type, it's not just a club, it's for all of us. And we meet you where you are. So if you're looking to be encouraged, we meet you there to encourage you. If you're looking to find a new career, guess what? In this COVID period, we're going to help you to find a new career. So we want you to join us March 18th through 20th on our virtual platform. We are coming to you virtually. Typically, we've been live, but with this pandemic, we're having to make a pivot and go virtual. So you can purchase tickets for the virtual event on forward WLF.org. That's FORWARD, WLF.org. We are welcoming awesome women on this platform. We're on Facebook Live and Instagram Live and on YouTube. We're welcoming awesome women to tell their stories. Women of the community, women in our lives and in our careers, to talk about things that we should know, to instruct us. And I'm so happy here today. I don't even know how to begin to tell you. I have somebody who is been in my life for a little bit now. And we haven't formally chit-chatted, but when we started chit-chatting, this is the result, people. All of this work right here is our guest journey. And so I welcome Miss BJ, and I'm calling her Miss BJ because she, in the African American community, when we reach the status of being called Miss and your initials are behind it, that means you put respect on that name. Respect on that name. So I am honoring Miss BJ. Miss Barbarajean Shaneman, is that correct? Shaneman-Robinson. Yes. I am welcoming her to the forum once again. She has attended many of our forums, and she could talk more about it as we have a conversation here. But I'm welcoming her to this podcast. Now, let me tell you just a very little bit, because we don't have a whole lot of time, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about Miss BJ here. She is a senior program specialist for the Patients Program in the Department of Pharmaceutical Health Services Research at the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy. Now, if she has a business card, that title goes from back to the front on the business card. She's also a community nurse advocate. She, like many women in the forum, they represent our history. So we want to find out a little bit more, or a lot of bit more, about Miss BJ here. She represents first in many areas: education, OB work, and the community. And I'm going to quote from her biography that she submitted to me. She says, each and every position in her work, she always says that she loves, and she would not change a thing. How many people can say that about the jobs that they have, and about their life that they're living, that they're not going to change a thing? So I want to welcome Ms. BJ to the Women's Leadership Forum. Welcome.
Thank you, my darling. I am happy to be here.
Okay.
For going through all the goodies there.
Well, great. So I want you to inform our audience, and what I want our audience to know is that Miss BJ has a lengthy history here. And we deserve to know what that history is. And we might not get through all of that here today. So I told Miss BJ before we ever got on here, this might be a one of a part two. So if we get to a time for which I have to say time, don't fret, because we're going to invite Miss BJ back, because she has a lot to tell. So Miss BJ, tell us just a little bit about your awesome journey.
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for the invitation to be present on your program and to be a part of the Women's Leadership Forum.
Absolutely.
Today, I sat here before you as what I call a super senior. A lot of people may not know who or what they are, but super seniors are people who are 70 or 80 or older, who have the mindset of a 50-year-old. Now,
Oh,
Fauci turned 80 this week. He's a super senior. The man is so we're walking in some steps of brilliancy. I am 75 years old.
Yay!
And I love what I do. I was pulled out of retirement to be able to continue doing what I love to do. I graduated from the University of Virginia, Charlottesville. First year of college, I was 16, still playing with dolls. Cried my first year because I thought had thrown me away, because I'm a military brat. So I had never been away from my parents. And it was frightening to be that young. But one of the things is that because of the fact that I am of mixed blood, I'm 80% Native American. My mom is 100% Blackfoot. My dad is 50% Apache and 50% Somalian. I was not allowed to live on campus. So I had a den mother that was a half a block away from the college. At that time, the University of Virginia was an all-male Ivy League college. First year I went was myself and 7 young ladies of the Mormon faith. I love those ladies with all my heart. Being 16, they took me under their wing because they knew I was frightened. I was afraid. I'd never been away by myself. And I actually graduated from the University of Virginia, Charlottesville nursing program, went directly into working cancer research. But I graduated 1 month shy of my 21st birthday. So I was allowed to practice, although I had my license. So on my 21st birthday, I had a job. I started doing cancer research, never knowing that at age 75 and 50 years into my career, that research would be my calling. Now, I have worked with some of the most fabulous doctors. There is everybody from Dr. Eli Saunders to working with Dr. Weir in nephrology, Saunders in cardiology, Dr. Benitez, another cardiologist. I've done things during the Vietnam War. I was a nurse in Quantico at the Navy Marine Base, where I did OBGYN. And I went from there to working with the Yada Clinic, where I delivered babies on Embassy Row according to their cultures. That was so interesting and exciting because I learned so much on why women deliver in different ways within their country, what the story was behind it. And then I went from there to working with the center. I worked drug abuse with Dr. Nancy Lowe. Got her program together and did that with her for a while. And then I moved on to working we called it Tropical and Geographic Medicine, which was the Center for Vaccine Development. At that point, I've worked as a PI, a principal investigator, working projects, doing community recruitment, being a nurse coordinator out there in the community, what we call boots on the ground, talking to people about what we do in research. I've always believed in transparency. That's why you hear me say, I shoot from the hip. You ask me, I tell you. And I know that a lot of people of color are frightened because of past bad research. So, yes, I share that. But also, we have the opportunity to make changes, to make policies, to decide how we're going to be treated, how we're going to have health care. I came from the old school where you did things as they went along. Nowadays, we're in that time where young people are turning things around, and I'm caught up in that spin, turning around with them. Because of the fact is that as an older person, what I call my super senior, God has blessed us. Because not only have He's given us the age, He's given us the experience. Now that's number one on the list. To have that age and the experience. You have seen things, you've heard things, you worked things. So now you have information at your fingertips to look at what is out there new and to see how it can work for the best of us.
Okay, well, you said a lot there that I'm trying to figure out which question I'm going to ask, and I'm going to piggyback on what you're saying about working with young people. How do you find, they call the group the millennials and Generation X, Y, Z. How do you find working with those groups?
I love it.
Yeah.
Because I step into a role of a teacher, of a mentor. And because of my age, they see me as a mother figure and they want to learn. Now, you have some hard heads that feel that they know it all.
Okay.
But once you sat with them and explain to them that, yes, you know this, but you do know the other part of it. Perfect example. We hear, oh, Henrietta Lacks and Tuskegee, bad research. Yes, that happened. But I said yesterday in my BJ's Corner, long before that, they were doing bad research.
Okay.
Long before that. And we, as people of color, was acceptance. But not only us, because of the lack of knowledge. And I say to my young people, listen, you learn so much. I always tell people, I talk a lot, but if you listen, you learn something. Because often, because I'm talking, you think I'm not listening to you, but I listen to every word that is being said. And I don't prejudge. I'll say, exactly what did you mean by that? Because I want to see this, their vision is what I'm looking at.
So it's your way, they call it mindfulness in some ways, being mindful of what the other person is saying. And you've said this a couple times in what you were just saying, which is listening. Listening is a key, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's also hard. Even in the last podcast that we were talking about, sometimes listening is hard. Like the other person wants to get out what they want to say while you're talking in the middle.
I'm that way. I'm guilty too.
Yeah, but Miss BJ, okay, you obviously are a good listener because you have people that are following you, right? So you have people that are following, and you are in the community, and you've told me that you have opened up doors, literal doors, right? Buildings.
Yes.
You've opened up buildings. Can you tell our viewing and listening audience what magnificent work you have done in the community?
Well, in the community, my what I call my first baby, Park West Medical Center, Garrison Boulevard in Browns Memorial Church. I opened it up because I saw the need where people needed health care. We started, myself and another nurse started the program, Sister Green, in Browns Memorial. Then we decided to, across the street on a lot, build a box. And literally, we cut it in fours, where we had 4 spaces.
Okay.
And then we actually was, seriously, we were seeing women who were pregnant, and we weren't calling it OBGYN or pediatrics. We were seeing women with children that needed health care. We saw mama pregnant, bring your children. We would take care of them. We were bringing in health care to actually provide that service. Then all of a sudden, things just turned around for us. And one of my Native American sisters, Dr. Dana Bryant, offered to work with us. Now, we're doing all of this free. That's me. I do things free. I create free programs to give back to the community. And then we went to Morgan State, and we hired a young man that graduated that year and taught him how to be the director of the program and how to be our boss, how to write grants and how to go after money, so that we would be able to provide that medical service that was needed.
Okay.
Park West has grown from Garrison Boulevard. They had a small clinic on Cold Springs over off of Park Heights, and now they have a gigantic satellite in Ricestown Road Plaza. The program was created, then given back to the community. And then I did my baby at the now it's called the Men and Family Center. It was called the Men's Center on Jefferson Street. They were having a challenge there with services in the hospitals, and and they were about to be closed down. A friend of mine called me, and I'm having this gigantic lobster downtown, and she's calling me, telling me, well, I want you to go over to this center because they're getting ready to be closed and you need to straighten that out. I'm going, girl, I'm eating lobster. What are you talking about? Who is this person? But I went over to the center, worked with the young man, Purnell. We actually sat down and he heard me. I said, we're going to change the name of the program to Men and Family Center. We're going to change the mission. The mission is men nurturing men while they take care of their own. Then I and him went downtown and made the changes. And the program is picked right back up and still going. I've worked there, saw clients there for him. And then I moved on to set up my family center, which is over on North Avenue in West Baltimore. I put 15 years into working from St. Matthew's Church in a basement to a basement in an old school over on Westwood. Everybody on that area know about that school. Over to now the resident building that has been built. And there's a clinic that was developed for me to give back to the community. Then I've had Be More Baby Mobile, where I went out and took care of newborns. I call them little neonatals. They're no bigger than your hand.
Oh.
Those are of us. And then also I had an HIV van. And I'd be out there 3:00 in the morning with the team, and an excellent team, because they took care of me. And we were providing screening and services, and we worked with all populations. I'll give you one that I cherish to the bottom of my heart. I had a group of LG that would come to me and they would say, Mama BJ, we going to DC to party. And I would go, turn around, honey. Let me make sure there's no runs in your stockings, because you can't be going out looking tacky. And they, and they appreciated that. They really felt the love that was given. And I always thank God that He made me the person that I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because in all that I do, I know that the love is coming out. I feel their love. So I know that they are receiving my love.
So,
And
so,
go
so
ahead.
Ms. BJ, let me ask you this. So what do you say to you've opened many clinics, you've opened like many doors for people, you've literally saved lives, you've created life. So what do you say about our community who, you know, and we haven't discussed this, so I'm not quite sure what you're going to say. But
Okay.
when it comes to the vaccine,
What do I say to the
what do you
community?
say? What do you say to the current situation that we're in regarding the COVID vaccine?
We are scared to death.
Yeah.
We do not understand all that is happening. We are being told this is what it's going to do.
Yeah.
But you know all the side effects? This is healthcare on the fly. That is not good healthcare. You know, I give you something and you find out that it doesn't work for you, that you have effects.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the fact that we don't have enough information, and I know as a researcher it is important that the time is put in to actually create as well as analyze what the long run is going to be. Now I know that we don't have that kind of time. We are
Yeah.
dying lives. I understand that. But I also know that I tell people you need to talk to your doctor. Let you and your doctor make that decision. One of the things I said yesterday, and my coworker Rodney said, "BJ, you told your personal, but you didn't have to." I tell people this because I want them to see that I am just like you. I've had a triple heart bypass and a flip. Now, I'm a cancer survivor twice.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Ringing the
I
bell for you. Ringing the
I have
bell.
big time health disparities. But I will sit down with my doctor when I see him in 2 weeks and say to him, what are we going to do? My questions that I may have about the vaccine, I am going to ask them.
Yes.
And then together we will decide whether or not, one, I should have the vaccine. If he says you need to have it or you can't because of whatever the problem is, I am going to follow his direction. I know as a nurse, in the long run, healthcare providers are going to be mandated to, or we're not going to use the word mandated, but it's going to be a thing that we should all be vaccinated because we are taking care of other people. People shed viruses. I'm a hugger and a kisser, and all my clients are. So, you know, you just like when I work with children, when I wear my hair plaited, the children like to suck my plait. So I go home with all kinds of stuff in my head. You know what I'm saying? So your hair carries all of that. You got to, you know, deal with that.
Yeah.
And from the time you come in contact with that person until the time that you're able to wash your hair or remove it, that time span is where you can pick up a virus. But to simply answer your question, talk to your doctor, make a definitely wise decision with his help.
Okay. Those were words to the wise. And you will always be the honorary person at our Women's Leadership Forum. And with that, I mean, in all your wisdom, please share with us what is your motivation What is your daily motivation?
When I get up in the morning, I am literally thinking about one of my clients in the community, any of them. My motivation is the love that I share with the community that I love so much. Mm-hmm. All that I do is done because of the community. Mm-hmm. I walk that journey with them each and every day. When I call somebody and there's an issue going on in the family, or they'll call me and say, Nurse BJ, this is going on. What should I do? I am there for them. I am their support because I know that they want to hear it from me. Perfect example. Dr. Saunders and I worked together for more than 48 years. Mm. He could see a patient, and a client would see, after they see him, they'll come to my office and say, Dr. Saunders said so and so. What did he mean? And he knew that they would not believe what he said unless I said, this is what he's talking about. Another client, I had a client that said, Dr. Saunders told me I was fat. I ain't fat. I said, wait a minute, baby. He didn't mean it like that. He didn't mean FAT. He meant PHAT.
Okay.
I said, wait a minute. I called Dr. Saunders in. I didn't even give him a heads up. I said, Dr. Saunders, you told so-and-so she was fat. I know you meant PHAT, right? He said, yep, and walked out the door. All they needed.
Okay. Okay, Ms. BJ.
And we're talking about obesity, cholesterol, and diabetes.
Well,
you see where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
You know, and you know, when you work with somebody so many years, you begin to read them and they read you.
Yeah, and it's okay.
Yeah.
When you have somebody's best interest at heart, right?
Yes. And I have been so blessed to work with some of the most fabulous physicians there is in the world and in their field. One of my favorites is Dr. Hugh Davis. Here I am, this little young OBGYN nurse, and I was a part of the Dalcon Shield when it was created. We did the thought, the drawings and all, and he said, I want to put you on this because you were a creator of it. I work with young women when we tested it and all of that, and it is hard to say to someone, well, we want to put something in you and see if it'll work and all. But my ladies knew that what they were doing as the testing, I was always there holding their hand, loving them. And that made it all worthwhile. So, even I was delivering babies, those women would grab you and bite on you and scream at you. And I get up and look at them and say, girl, don't you even start that one. Let's give this baby life. And they go, yes, ma'am. Ooh, that's it.
Okay. Well, on that note, okay, so I'm coming to the close, and we definitely have to have you back because you are our lifeline to community. You're one of our lifelines to community, and just because I love you, we need to have you back. And so leave us with a good word. Leave us with, we're going into this weekend. Leave us with a good word.
Peace, love, and blessing. And prayers are always valued. If you can get on your knees, get on them. If you can't, sit. And thank God that you are able to say, Father, I am living to see a new day. And I ask your blessing around this world during this time. And Father, bless those who are hurting from the loss of a loved one or those that are in the hospital. Because always remember, it could be you.
Well, Amen, amen, amen. On that note, I really appreciate our time together. I appreciate you. I appreciate your honesty. You're a woman after my own heart. You're someone to aspire to. If we could just do an eighth of what you did, we would be doing something. We would be doing something. If somebody picked up the torch or picked up the flame, and I'm hoping that what you're saying are words of inspiration for any person, both young and old, to carry that torch, and work in their community, because the communities they need people. They need people to care. They need people to, in the chat, it says, pay it. Let's pay it forward. And that's what we're working on this year is looking forward, being forward, because this pandemic for some is both a blessing and a curse, right?
Yes.
A blessing and a curse. And we want to make sure that people come out whole, stronger, wiser, and better. And so we look forward to our event next year. Okay. A transition. We're looking forward to our event next year, which happens on March 18th through the 20th. Miss BJ is on our panel, and oh my gosh, no telling what she's going to say on that panel, because we're going to talk about womanhood at the Pearl Table. We had the Pearl Table last year. We're asking that Miss BJ be at the Pearl Table, and I'm sure she's going to impart her wisdom for both the young and the old, or the more tenured or seasoned people. We don't call old people. We call them tenured, seasoned, super seniors.
Super seniors is the magic word.
Super seniors. We got the super seniors going. I'm going to keep that going, Miss BJ, because you taught me something here today. So we got the super seniors. And let me just tell you what is coming up next. So if you got a pencil, piece of paper, people, get yourself ready, because on December the 26th, we have something for the little people and the big people, but big people, bring your little people to the table, because we are going to have story time with the children. We're going to be talking about hip hop hair, hip to the hippity hop, hip hop, don't stop. I don't know. I don't have the whole thing going, but we're going to talk about hip hop story time. And that is December 26th at 6 p.m. right here on Facebook Live and Instagram Live and YouTube. And then after that, watch out now. We're getting ready for the new year. We're trying to get our curves together. So we're going to start with Lotus Fitness, and we're going to start a little early. We're starting a little early, people. December 28th at 2:30. We are going to work it on out. Now I'm going to try this thing. Work it on out. And I'm going to try to keep it going, working it on out. And so I'm asking you all to join me. I started with my t-shirt here. Can you see that? I started with my t-shirt. And I'm asking you to bring it on forward. Bring it forward and work out with us on December 28th with Lotus Fitness at 2:30. Now, we're going to sweat just enough so that you glisten, right? Because you're still working, even though you're working at home. We're going to let you glisten a little bit. Go get your washcloth, wipe your face back off, and go back to the computer. So everybody, I thank you. This is, we're 7 days out from Christmas or the holidays, and we all want to wish you well. Be safe out there. Be safe out there. Continue to mask up, keep your distance, and wash your hands. Okay? And we want to thank again Miss BJ for showing up and showing out. And we will be back with you next time. Everybody, peace, love, blessings, and much prayer. Thank you very much, Miss BJ. Yeah. Next time.
I enjoyed myself.
All right. Thank you. Have a great afternoon and good weekend.
All right. Blessed holiday, girl. Behave yourself.
Oh, you said nothing but a word. Okay.
And tell Jessica